Welcome to the Beyond Cinema studio up here at TIFF, presented by Celebs.com. Lewis, Prieto, Agyness Deyn. Firstly, Lewis, was it a crazy idea to take on this kind of cult film, or has it been like since I kind of was surprised that it was 1996, so it was so long ago already. So was that distance in time, did that make it a more comfortable challenge?
Well, I mean, it was a crazy idea. It was a beautiful, crazy idea, and it was a huge challenge. And I didn't feel comfortable at the beginning taking the film, because I thought, I can't do that. I love Nicholas. I love his picture. As you said, some time had passed, and that was an advantage in a way. But it was a lot of responsibility and honor at the same time.
And Nicholas himself is now, making English language films, of course. And so, was there ever did you consult each other during the making of it? Did he ever say to you, "Oh, I was thinking of remaking it myself"? Did that ever come across? Did he ever think about that?
That didn't come across. What it did came across is that we were shooting, and all of a sudden Nicholas was in Cannes with Drive, and he won. And all of a sudden, we're extremely happy, but we know that he's coming to this later, to the set. So I think, at least personally, but I think everyone felt a little bit like, oh my God, God is coming to the set, And so we feel like, this is a lot of responsibility. And he hung out with us, so what we were doing, and he just said, you're doing a great job, this is your film, keep working on it.
That's great. And in terms of finding your Frank and Flo, obviously Richard Coyle plays Frank, and Agnes, his girlfriend Flo. What were you looking for? What specifically attracted you to these guys?
Well, for Frank, I was looking for someone that will have a charm, someone that you would like. I wanted an actor that you could empathize no matter what he did in the film. And what Frank does is, sometimes he's very nasty a couple of times. He's a really nice guy, but at the same time, he does really nasty things. So I thought, I need someone that people will trust, someone that no matter what he does, the audience will go with him. And for me, it was very important his relationship with the girlfriend, that is a role played by Agnes. And I thought that both of them, they were just amazing together. And I thought, okay, I can identify myself with this couple. Obviously it's a relationship with a lot of problems, but I think people can see themselves in the relationship. And it was amazing just having Agnes in the film. It was like a gift.
But how did you know, what did you see her in, or what did you see in her that you thought she would be good? Because obviously, international supermodel, everyone knows, but since 2010 you've been doing quite a few, film projects since 09 and 10. So was it you who were pursuing the roles, or were there opportunities that were coming to you that you just started taking at that time?
I suppose I'd made the decision that I wanted to do this, and I was wanting to experience as much as I could on a gradient, so I wasn't in any rush, so I started off a few small short films and stuff. And, then I had an agent, obviously, then they're sending me stuff, and they sent me through the script, and, I saw Luis's work, and I was just like, wow, and knew that the two together would make something really different and special, because the script, is very London, and, it could have been something that was seen before, and I feel like what came out of it was this beautifully shot, and it has this magic about it that is hopeful, and Luis said, you go on this journey with these people, and you love them, all of them, even the bad guys, it's hard for even them to be horrible to each other, but then they all have this drive to get what they want. So
Did you what was the process? Did you guys meet in a coffee shop and talk about it? Did you Skype? Did you audition?
Well, I auditioned originally for Danica, who's the drug mule, and I sent in a tape. My sister did it on her mobile phone. I ran in her work, and I was like, "You need to do this scene with me." She's like, "Okay," filmed it, and then sent it through, and then I went in. Right.
It was fascinating because the whole process, because the producer told me, okay, there is a top model that wants to be an actress, and you're going to get the clips, and I said, well, I don't want to, get, conditioned by these things. Don't tell me who is it. I'll just look at the clips. I look at the clips. Honestly, I didn't recognize Agnes. She was fantastic. I say, okay, this is the actress that I like. I think she's great. I think she will do a great job. And the producer told me, well, that's the model. So I was a little bit shocked because the fact that I didn't recognize her, like, wait a second. I looked her up and immediately I saw her pictures and I thought, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I didn't recognize her. And but her tape was so casual that I just didn't put 1+1. And I thought, well, great. We got Agnes in the film, and I really like her, and I thought she's fantastic, and
Did it also, you probably had an instant catalogue of all her different looks, so you could choose what you wanted, and you kind of would know, whereas most actors wouldn't have that opportunity. It's almost like you've got 5,000 headshots or 10,000 headshots.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess with red wigs, have you done that before? You probably have done it.
Yeah, I've dyed my hair red, yeah. Not
yeah.
that long though, that was different.
Okay.
Remember when I first put it on, I was like, whoa, long hair, this is great.
So for you, a lot of people are saying from the early photos that were released and the trailer that then came out that it did have a feel like Drive, that there was that kind of cool vibe to it. And for you as a filmmaker, how have you seen that transition from Bamboleo to now?
Well, I was completely honored when those comments came out because I felt like, oh my goodness, they're comparing me with Nicholas. That is great. The funny part was that we were shooting while Drive was in Cannes, so none of us knew anything about Drive. So it just felt like okay, this has been a blessing, an amazing project. We had a lot of fun doing it, and this has been a big trip from my short film that sort of brought me here, and I don't know, just it was a great experience, and we love it, everyone.
And encapsulating London in that way, for you, obviously Spanish-born, split your time now between Rome and the UK. Was it interesting to you being able to really kind of capture all these kind of parts of London that maybe you had or hadn't experienced before?
Yeah, no, for me it was very interesting. It was fascinating to make a film in a city that you don't live, but you don't live there. So I think you look at the city with fresh eyes in a way, and one of the things that I knew is that I didn't want it to have the rainy London. I was looking for colors. I thought and actually we were very lucky because the sun was out while we were shooting. So I just looked for a colorful London that it was perfect for the story, for what I wanted to tell. And maybe the fact that I was coming from Italy, being an Hispanic, I was able to see things that maybe you might not see because you leave the city every day. So I felt really inspired when I was making the film because I was really amazed with everything that I was seeing.
Yeah. Agnes, for you, being able to act, going back and forth now between modelling and acting, do you now have a preference? Do you think, I would much rather be acting right now, or much rather be doing this campaign? Or is it just the mix of things just keeps you creatively satisfied?
I think at the 4 years ago when I decided, obviously I was still modelling and stuff, but I feel at a certain point you kind of have to go with what makes you happy, and this whole experience with Pusher and the whole crew has really consolidated that hunger that I have to carry this on. And I suppose the more and more I do it, there's less time for that, and I get more fulfillment and enjoyment for this. So I kind of feel like that's where I kind of instinctually am going to.
So these days, would we more often find you catching a movie than at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week or something like that that's happening right now?
I think that has always been the case anyway, So, yeah, I love film and.
And seeing yourself on screen
in that way, is it a different relationship seeing yourself working?
Yeah, it's interesting, because it's, obviously it's okay, that's how that looks, and that I experienced that in that way, and that's how that translates. And it was a really interesting, watching it and seeing that, it actually being so engrossed in the story. And last night was the first time I'd seen it fully. I'd seen a rough cut before, but I was getting choked up at the whole, Frank, and and that's what I love about watching a film, to feel I want to feel something. I want to feel someone punch me in the stomach, and and I feel Pusher has that. It has this you have this empathy for all the characters, and you know, you go on this journey that's kind of like a mess, you know, and there's like magic in that as well.
Lewis, when you're screening a film to the public like that, and you're having people experiencing the film for the first time, do you find yourself watching the actors as much as you're watching the screen?
Yeah, you know, it was a while not watching Pusher. Actually, I mean, I saw it a month ago in Edinburgh, but before then, it was already like 5 months without seeing it, 4 months without seeing it. So I got an experience to watch the film recently, and you know, I almost saw it with new eyes, like if I wasn't involved with that, and I was carried away what was happening in the screen, and you know, the performance of the actors, and I thought like, wow, this is great. And then I thought, cool, I'm there too.
I think cool is like the operative word here, because Nicholas, like, I mean, everyone saw Drive, they were like, cool. Then they saw the photos of Bush and they're like, oh, cool. You know, like, so I think
Way
everyone
cool.
was like relieved that everything it was looking like so you know, so super stylized and really fun. So thanks for coming in and spending a few minutes. We appreciate it.
All right,
Okay, thank
thanks.
you.
Cheers.